You know that feeling when the whole room goes quiet the second you walk in, and every enemy suddenly remembers they left the oven on at home? Yeah, that is the vibe today. These are 10 Nintendo Switch games where you are not just the hero, you are the problem. The kind of character that makes bosses nervous and makes regular enemies rethink their life choices. Let's get into it. Saints Row 4 is basically a power fantasy with zero shame, and I love it for that. You are the president, you get thrown into a weird alien simulation, and then the game just hands you superhero powers like it is Halloween candy. Super speed, super jumps, telekinesis, ice blasts, you name it. The city becomes your playground, and the enemies feel like they are trying to fight a tornado with a pool noodle. What really sells the boss everyone fears vibe is how casual you are about it. You are cracking jokes while tossing cars, sprinting up buildings, and wrecking alien squads like it is a warm-up. Even when the story goes full nonsense, it somehow makes you feel more unstoppable. If you want a Switch game where you feel overpowered in the funniest way, this is it.
Don't move! This shit is coming out the back! Let's deal with this first.
Destroy All Humans is that classic I am the invader now setup, and it nails the intimidation factor. You play as Crypto, an alien with a mission, and humans are basically your toys. The ray gun feels mean, the disintegrator feels even meaner, and the psychic powers make you feel like you are controlling the whole battlefield with your brain. There is something really satisfying about walking into a town and knowing the panic is immediate. You can toss people around, hijack their bodies, or just start vaporizing everything that moves. And since the tone is goofy and sarcastic, it never feels heavy. It feels like you are a dangerous prankster with way too much tech. If you have ever wanted to be the thing in the sky that everyone points at and screams, this is your game.
Superb!
Doom Eternal is pure intimidation from the first second. You are the Doomslayer, and demons do not fight you because they think they can win. They fight you because they have no choice. The whole game is built around momentum, and once you lock in, it feels like you are a one-person disaster event. What makes the boss everyone fears vibe hit so hard is how aggressive the combat is. You are always pushing forward, always hunting, always deciding what dies next. Glory kills keep you in their face, chainsaw kills keep you stocked, and the music basically turns you into a walking threat. Even the biggest demons feel like obstacles, not equals. On Switch, it is still wild how fast and intense it feels. If you want to feel like the scariest thing in the room, Doom Eternal is a top pick. Saboteur 2, Avenging Angel, is all about being the feared figure in the shadows. This one leans into that revenge story energy where you are not just fighting back, you are making an example. The moment-to-moment gameplay is built around hitting targets, breaking systems, and leaving your enemies paranoid about when you will strike next. The boss feeling comes from how you operate. You are not some random soldier on a battlefield, you are a threat that changes the map. You sabotage, you disrupt, you pick the moment, and then you vanish. That makes every mission feel personal, like you are building a reputation. I always love games where the enemy feels like they are reacting to you, not the other way around. If you want that feared rebel leader vibe, this is a solid entry for the list. Metal Gear is the king of one person can ruin an entire army's day, and the Master Collection vibes fit perfectly here. Even when you are playing stealthy, you still feel like the most dangerous thing in the area because you are the one choosing how the mission goes. You decide who gets taken out, who gets embarrassed, and who never even sees you. What I love is how much control you get. You can be a ghost, you can be a trickster, or you can turn the whole place into chaos on purpose. And when the series gets into its signature big brain moments, it only makes your character feel more legendary. In Metal Gear, the enemy fears you because you are unpredictable. On Switch, having that classic stealth power fantasy in a portable format is just awesome for late night sessions. Hitman is the calmest kind of terrifying. You are Agent 47, and you do not kick down the door like an action hero. You walk in like you belong there. That is what makes you feel like the boss everyone fears. The targets are surrounded by guards, cameras, and luxury, and none of it matters because you are smarter than the setup. The real power trip is in the planning and the improvisation. You can poison a drink, create an accident, steal a disguise, or set up a chain reaction that looks like bad luck. When everything clicks, it feels like you just puppeteered the entire level. Even when things go wrong, you still feel dangerous because you can adapt. Hitman is all about control, and nothing scares enemies more than realizing you were in the room the whole time.
Identify yourself. You down, pal. I'm calling for help. Suspect is over there. Gotcha.
The Force Unleashed is one of my favorite "you are too strong for this universe" Star Wars games. You play as Star Killer, and the game basically asks, what if the Force was turned up to 11? You are yanking stormtroopers around like action figures, slamming enemies into walls and tossing objects with ridiculous power. The boss feeling comes from how direct it is. You are not politely swinging a lightsaber and waiting your turn, you are dominating fights. The Force powers are the main event, and when you start chaining moves together, it feels like you are a walking threat that the Empire cannot contain. Even the big set-piece moments are designed to make you feel legendary, like you are bending the galaxy around you. If you want a Switch game that makes you feel like a feared Force monster, this one delivers. Carrion flips the script in the best way. You are not the person escaping the lab. You are the thing everyone is trying to escape from. You play as this growing, writhing creature, and the game makes you feel like a horror movie villain that is finally in control. What I love is how it makes fear feel mechanical. You crawl through vents, burst into rooms, grab people, and drag them away. The humans shoot at you, but the more you learn the map and use your abilities, the more you feel unstoppable. It becomes this hunting game where you are always the predator, and since you do not have a face or a voice, it is all body language and movement, which makes it even creepier. If you want that everyone fears you energy literally baked into gameplay, Carrion is perfect. Astral Chain makes you feel like a stylish, unstoppable cop who also has a supernatural monster on a leash. You play as an officer fighting these weird threats, and your Legion partner is basically your secret weapon. The coolest part is how you fight as a duo, controlling both you and the Legion to trap enemies, slam them around, and set up flashy combos. The boss vibe comes from how clean and confident the combat feels once you learn it. You are not just reacting, you are controlling space. You bind enemies, you pull them, you punish them, and the whole fight looks like a highlight reel. The world is also really slick, so you feel important just walking around in it. Astral Chain is the kind of Switch game where you feel like an elite unit that normal enemies should not even be allowed to look at.
Anything you can't handle.
Maneater is a game where you start as a baby shark and end up as a full-on sea nightmare. And honestly, it is way more fun than it should be. The whole loop is you eating, growing, evolving, and turning into something that ruins beaches, boats, and anybody unlucky enough to get in the water. What makes you feel like the boss everyone fears is how the ocean becomes your territory. Humans are not the hunters here. They are the snacks, and the game leans into that power shift hard. You can leap out of the water, smash into people, rip them apart, then disappear under the waves like nothing happened. The upgrades make you feel even more monstrous, and by the time you are fully evolved, you feel like the final boss of the entire coastline. Alright, that is my list. If you have a Switch game that makes you feel like the scariest thing on the map, drop it in the comments because I am always looking for more of that walk in and everybody panics energy. If you enjoyed this one, hit like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.